接下来为大家带来演讲主题的题目是“诉说我心，提升思辨及表达能力，戏剧表达和游戏力在教育当中的应用”。将要登台演讲这一主题的嘉宾是美国奥克兰急性疾病康复治疗机构的负责人，美国注册戏剧治疗师，好莱坞知名影视剧演员，百老汇著名戏剧演员，他就是来自美国的斯蒂芬教授。让我们掌声有请。
A father sits in his Mercedes-Benz with a gun in his hand. He is convinced he's not needed. He's not loved anymore. He's reaching out. Yes? Phone, call, texts, but nothing. He's left alone on a deserted street with nothing but his destructive thoughts. Yet, within an hour, he's at my hospital, beginning to celebrate life again, beginning to get ready to re-engage the world again. Huh? What happened? What happened? Special pill, revolutionary new therapy, right? New self-help book. No. That's not it. In a little while, hopefully not too long, little while, I'm going to tell you what transpired to bring this man back to life again. You see, because every day I work with amazing people. These people are challenged by life. But despite their best efforts, they've tried to kill themselves, or thought very seriously about taking their own lives. And many of these people, by the way, are well educated, right? They're thoughtful, they're loving, and they have what we would call the luxuries of life, yeah? They have the American dream, Chinese dream, right? Yeah. And they have children, house, they have all these things. But almost to a person, they share something in common, and almost, I mean this really, almost every one of them tells me the same thing. They wish they could communicate better with their family. They wish they could improve communication with their family. I hear it all the time. Now look, I know not everybody in this room is facing a problem that's quite so, as my wife would say, so heavy. That's good. That's good. We don't want our problems to become too heavy. But what if I told you that with 3 questions and 2 chairs, 3 questions, 2 chairs, you could begin to improve communication with your family today. So, in this short time we're going to spend together, I'm going to tell you about those 3 questions, and I am going to explain these 2 chairs. Now, I've heard a lot about talking from the heart today. And I love talk from the heart, but forget the heart. Let's talk. You know why? Does anybody in here not have a heart? Anybody not have a heart? Anybody? Put your hand up. We're looking at hearts in the back over there. Did you see that machine? It's amazing. We're looking and turning it around, and I already know. Chia and Flora, thank you very much. I know your heart already. You all have good hearts. I know the Chinese people have good hearts. You know why, right? You already know. Why? Because I married somebody from China, so. It's my wife right there. Did you catch that before? That's my wife, Phoebe. All right. That's why I'm here. Wouldn't be here without her. Right, darling? All right. Ha! All right, so I know they have good hearts. All right. Oh, the questions. You want to know these 3 questions, right? They're magical questions. Oh, my gosh. I hope I can get this thing right. I haven't used this. This is huge. Oh, my gosh. I feel like I'm standing in the middle of a highway here. I'm over here. All right. Wow. Here are the 3 questions. What do you know about your family? Now don't answer these right away. Take these home. Take them to New Year's and, Lunar New Year and all these things, all birthday parties. And just think for a minute, what do I know about my family? What do I know about my family? And the number 2 is, what do you not know? Uh-oh. Now, see, this is easier, right? What do you not know? What do you not know? What's going on in your family you don't know about? Take it seriously. I've asked these questions to people, amazing answers. And what have you forgotten about your family, okay? That's number 3. What have you forgotten about your family? So let's take a little look at what we do know. We're talking about adolescence today a lot. I mean family, but we're talking about adolescence. We know that in certain surveys, nearly 90% of students enjoy school. In another survey, almost 100, 98.6% of children say that a teacher has affected them positively, okay? But here's where it gets a little tricky. Make sure I'm not going too fast. It gets a little tricky here. Only about half, 54% of students say that they have high self-esteem, and 45%, which is pretty high, say they have low self-esteem, which leads us to another disturbing trend. Suicide among teenagers worldwide is on the rise. Now, we could spend a whole hour on that. Why? School bullying, school pressure, we know, right? We know about that here. I see a lot, I see heads nodding. School pressure, yeah. And social media, but let's turn all that off. We're going to go to a magical place today. Let's turn off the electronic world. Way too much electronic world going on, right? It's too much. I'm hearing a lot about the internet gaming addiction and that kind of thing. So let's turn all that off for just a little bit. And instead, and by the way, a lot of these factors we can't influence. We have no direct influence over these factors, right? We can't influence them. So why, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Have you heard, anybody heard this before? I just thought of that. This is from AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage, you want to say it too? Courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. I hope that translates well. I'm sure it will. Look it up. It's called the Serenity Prayer. Look it up later. All right, good. All right, these 2 chairs. I got to hurry here because I'm going to run out of time. What time is it anyway? Let me take a look. I have no idea when I started, so here we go. Okay, good. All right, these 2 chairs, we're going to examine human consciousness, right? We're going to look at the origins of theater, the creation of drama therapy, and how to improve family communication, all in like another 55 minutes. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to try. But before we go to this magical place, we have to learn how to write our play here. I think this is what I want right here. I'm from the theater. That's my background. I'm not a playwright. I have written a play, by the way. I wrote a play on childhood abuse, by the way, called I Can't Talk About It. And so I'm a little bit of a playwright, but I spend my time in the theater, and if I'm going to write this story about family communication, then I need something some structure, right? How are we going to communicate better with our families? Well, first of all, maybe you know them by now, What do I know about my family? What do I not know about my family? What have I forgotten about my family? I forgot to go back to that one. I forgot that one. What have you forgotten about? Oh, that's a good one. See, I forgot to tell you about what have you forgotten about your family. What do you know? What do you not know? What have you forgotten? Okay, back to writing the play. We're going to hang our hat, our metaphorical hat, more on that in a moment, on these. This is an acronym in English, but I don't know what it is in Chinese or in Pinyin. But it spells mind, in English, mind, and it stands for the mind. If you're going to communicate better with your family, you have to know they have a mind. You have to know the other person in front of you has a mind, right? And your friends and your colleagues, we forget this sometimes, especially if we're in an argument, right? I forget they have a mind. My mind is the only mind. The next one is interior storytelling. I'll tell you about that in a moment. We all have an interior story going on. We all are telling a story about our lives. Right now, you're thinking about this interior story. It's running through your mind like, what am I going to do when I leave here? And what am I going to do with all this information? And do I really want to study psychology? Because some of it seems boring, but some of it seems interesting. You're running an interior story. The next one is needs. Oh, my goodness. Everybody has a need, right? We all have needs. And the last one is dream. Wow. Howie and many of the people that have spoken before have been spending a lot of time on dreams. We'll talk about that in a moment, but I better move right along here. Okay. So let's start writing our play this afternoon. So we're going to start with the mind. I want to tell you a little bit about the mind. Now, in the theater, we know a lot about the mind. We pretend to be other people in the theater, right? This is an amazing thing, an amazing act of human consciousness, pretending to be other people, okay? And you have to understand, if you're going to pretend to be somebody else, that the other person has a mind. If I'm doing a scene with somebody, right, I have to think about this. I'm doing a scene. I'm pretending to be somebody else. They're pretending to be somebody else, right? I have to know that they have a mind. They have to know that I have a mind. I'm pretending to have another mind. They're pretending to have another mind. Sorry, translator. Did it go through? All right. That's 4 minds all going at once. I'm coming to something here. So that means that this is an extremely amazing feat of human consciousness. Human consciousness. I want to ruffle some feathers here today. I'm going to tell you something right now. For the most part, this entire audience, you're not conscious. You're not conscious right now. You think you are, you're listening, you're making notes. I know you're making notes. You're writing things down, but you're not conscious. And even more surprising, you don't need to be. You don't need to be conscious for most things. Great example, Winter Olympics. How many of you saw the Winter Olympics? Winter Olympics? No? Come on, China did pretty, right, darling? Didn't China do pretty good in the Olympics? I thought they did. The speed skating. But here's my point. In the Olympics, if you're speed skating, if you're ice skating, right, and you've practiced this ice skating routine for a year, and you're skating around, and they would 2 or 3 or 4 jumps in the air, right? What happens when they become conscious? I'm getting ready to do that big 4 turns or 5 turns, whatever they're doing now, and I'm like, I'm in the Olympics, and there's judges watching me, and there's what happens to them? They fall down. So what good is consciousness then? I become conscious and I've fallen down. So I'm not talking about consciousness meaning I've been knocked out and I've just come out, thank God forbid. Or that here again, God forbid, somebody's in a coma and comes to, I don't mean that. The strict definition of consciousness from the dictionary just means being aware of my surroundings, being awake. For our purposes, we're going to talk about human consciousness. That's how we're getting to the mind here. And the reason I want this working definition of consciousness is so that we can understand that we're not conscious most of the time, nor do we need to be conscious most of the time, but that one of the times we need to be conscious is when we're communicating with our family. Then you need to be conscious. Sorry about that. All right. So let's look at 4 things. I need a quick drink of water. Let's look at 4 things that I don't believe you need to be conscious for at all, okay? And that is concepts. Thank you. Concepts, learning, thinking, and reasoning. I don't believe you need to be conscious for those. Let's talk about these. Let's see. Hope I didn't lose my place here. Concepts. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. Good. Thank goodness. Concepts. We all understand the concept that there's water, there's ice, and there's steam, right? Water can become ice or steam. That's just a concept. I see you come losing you already. You're like, oh, geez, okay. Right? You don't have to be conscious for that, right? But let's take another one. Let's take a look at learning. Most of it would say you need to be conscious for learning, right? You need to be conscious when you're learning. You don't have to be conscious when you're learning. You are not conscious when you're learning. I know I'm challenging you. Your children are not conscious, especially when they're learning by rote, yeah? Hope that translates. By rote, which is very isolating, right? I'm by myself, just studying, da-da-da-da. Memorization can be a lot of fun, where we make sort of contextual connections. Let's do a demonstration. Here we go, ladies. We got the demonstration now. All right. All right, here we go. When you grab that? Okay. Let's do a demonstration on learning. I'm going to bounce right off of Monica. I do need a volunteer. We're starting the volunteer portion. There's a lot of volunteers. Somebody come up here. Would somebody come up and, yeah. Great. Oh, we got next one, okay. I got a couple volunteers, yeah. Would you come up? What is your name? Emily, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Stephen. Nice to meet you. Come up here, Emily, all right. We're talking about something here. Okay, Emily, would you just stand here? I'm going to stand here, okay. And, okay, good. All right. Oh, okay, great. Does she need translating? Okay. Okay, no, that's okay. Thank you. Good. All right. So, okay. Oh, 谢谢. Wow, thank you. I didn't expect that. That was really good. Now, what happened? And I realize we're getting the translator. What happened? Some of you who maybe can tell me, and we do have some help with translation. What just happened right now? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody put that into words? Like, what did you see happen? What did happen, Emily? What message did you get from me?
I thought you are not satisfied with what I got for you.
Okay. Now, what I was trying to do was get her to bring me the green cups, but she just handed me the whole thing. So that was an example. Thank you very much. I may ask you to come back in a moment. Okay, Emily, thank you very much. Big hand for Emily, everybody. Let me hear. Yeah. I wanted her to bring me the green cups only, and all I was trying to do was just, use some positive reinforcement. I never got to that. What I was trying to do, Monica, was that every time she brought me a green cup, I was going to say, oh, shishi, and make a big deal about it, like you were talking about positive reinforcement. But she was pretty good. She did. There you go, right? There you go. He's not satisfied. How about everything? And that can work too, right? All right, so let me take this back. I don't think we need these again, my friends. Here we go. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lynn. All right, yeah. Let me tell you a story, and you may know this one, Monica. There was a psychology class, and it's an apocryphal story. I don't know where. Let's make it Harvard, right, or something, or Beijing University, maybe. But it was a psychology class, and the psychology professor told the male students to go out this week, in a week, and compliment all the women wearing red. But don't tell them. Just say, oh, you look very nice. Say, I see some people. Oh, hello, you look very nice. Ah, you look very nice. Everybody wearing red. What do you think happened by the end of the week? The cafeteria was ablaze with red. Think about advertising. Some of it's, you're conscious of it. Some of it you're not conscious, right? Just trying to make this point that you don't have to be conscious for learning. We'll get into thinking and reasoning. I don't have time for that. Please look it up. And I'll give you the source. I'll give you the source of where to look this at, where I'm getting this from. And that is, so I'm giving you this working definition of consciousness so that I want to get to a working definition of consciousness. So if it's not learning, it's not concepts, it's not thinking, it's not reasoning, what is it then? Well, I have a definition for you, all right? And here's the definition of consciousness, and I'm going to repeat it several times, and it's very difficult no matter what language you say it in. Okay. This is Dr. Stefan Schindler speaking here, okay? Definition of consciousness is a socio-linguistic construction of a unified mind space on a capacity for metaphor, symbolism, and storytelling. I know the first pass on that, it's like, what is he talking about? Don't worry about it. It's a lot, I know. So let me go briefly back here. Boy, I need more water. Wow, this is fun. All right, I'm having a good time. I hope you are, but whoops. Let that fall. I need some more water. All right, so thank you. We're going to go briefly back in time, and it's such a big subject, but where I'm getting this from is Julian Jaynes, Dr. Julian Jaynes, in a book called, and it's another long title, and if you want to ask me later, we'll talk about it. It's called The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. All right. The origin of consciousness and the breakdown of the bicameral mind. And so let's go back to where Julian Jaynes believes consciousness actually began. Okay, and by the way, this is not a universal hypothesis. This is one I'd like to work with today, and that is that the consciousness, the human consciousness that we're experiencing, all of us right now, is not naturally occurring. Say it again. The human consciousness that we have when we're interacting is not naturally occurring, but learned, okay? It's learned and developed with the onset of language and socialization, which is key for all of our discussions about family. And of course, my area, the theater, too. It's key for the theater, too. We'll put all this together here in a minute. So you have to be conscious to raise a family. And according to Julian Jaynes, ancient man, and by that, I mean ancient man only about 5,000 years and then going way back, ancient man, was not fully conscious. And after that, the development of language, Jaynes has a very controversial idea. Some of you may have heard it before. It's a huge brain. And that is this, that ancient man, through what's called the bicameral mind, see the two halves here? Actually hallucinated the way people who hear voices hallucinate today, the voice of God and their leaders and the dead. And there's lots of evidence for this. It's not, this is not something that has, there's a lot of proof about it, but there's a lot of great observations that you can look up. So fortunately, we're not here to debate that. That's another talk about whether this is true or not or how this works. But Julian Jaynes, at this point, does not believe that ancient man was fully conscious. This is the point I'm trying to get to. And that he didn't think of his family, or he was not able to think of himself as a person in a place with a story. That's the point, okay? That developed later, right? As mass migration occurred all over the world, and people discovered they weren't alone, and they started talking to each other. And there were other minds which gradually halted this sort of one side of the brain talking to the other side experience. And what then developed was something that is very important to the theater and to ourselves and our consciousness, and that's the idea of metaphor. Meaning, I could begin to think of myself as a person in a place with a story. And for evidence of this, real quick now, I know this is a big idea, but I want to go back again. Imagine, here's primitive man hallucinating, right? And evidence of this, we found these idols with these open mouths, which Julian Jaynes believes these were created in order to better hear the voice of God. Really. Let's turn to literature for a minute, because we're going to get into plays in a minute, talk about them. Literature, we hear ancient peoples specifically document not only voice hearing, but their experience of being controlled by gods. Yeah, they're actually controlled by gods in a lot of this literature. For instance, the Iliad, some of the students know the Iliad, the poem by Homer, the Greek poem by Iliad, the Iliad by Homer. James believes this predates the development of human consciousness. So that in the Iliad, those people living out that poem were not actually conscious. There was no self-direction. And almost all of it is narrated by the gods. So listen to this. This is from the Iliad. What god drove them to fight with such fury? Apollo, the son of Zeus, and Leto, incensed the king. He swept a fatal plague through the army. Men were dying, and all because of Agamemnon, spurned by Apollo's priest. All talking about gods. No talking about self-direction. But let's jump ahead then to, so here we are with the Iliad. Yeah? Let's go to the Odyssey now. The Odyssey is later. This is about Odysseus coming home from the Trojan Wars, right? And listen to this and how different this is. Listen to this. Sing to me of the man of twists and turns, driven time and again off course. Once he had plundered the hallowed heights of Troy. Many cities of men he saw and learned his minds. Hard as he strove, the reckless of their own ways destroyed them all, the blind fools. All right? So now there are not gods mentioned in that particular part of the poem. So now the Odyssey seems to have more of an internal narrative, see? They're talking about men and their reckless way and learning their minds, closer to the kind of storytelling that we're used to reading now, and the kind of internal narrative most of us understand as consciousness in the 21st century. So let's go back one more time to the breaking this down. What is consciousness? One more time. Consciousness is this: a sociolinguistic construction. That's okay? Of a unified mind space on a new capacity for metaphor, symbolism, and interior storytelling. Breaking this down through language and socializing, people have developed a space in their mind, right, where they can think symbolically, metaphorically, and tell a personal story about their lives. They can imagine themselves in other situations. This is an ability that if they didn't have, they wouldn't be able to plan their lives. If you think about that, if you don't think of yourself as a person in a place with a story, you can't plan your life. We might worry less, but that's the price of consciousness, okay? So if you see yourself entirely directed by gods, like if my life is entirely directed by gods and chief leaders, you don't have to worry too much about your family. They tell you what to do and how to do it. But if you're self-authorizing these decisions, you have to be conscious and aware of your decisions and using language. Now, if your heads are spinning, I think they might be. Let me take a break here. I'm going to need some new cards here, in fact, in a moment, so let me just see where they are here. I get a drink of water here, so hold on. Let me just take a break. Let's see. I know I have more cards around here somewhere. Here they are. This is where I'm going next, It's Evelyn again. Yeah. Evelyn, yeah. Yeah, Evelyn. Evelyn, hi, Evelyn, hi. Hello, how are you? Hello. Listen, Evelyn, I'm trying to tell them about the bicameral mind, and some of them went to sleep while I was talking about it. Yeah, I know, yeah. I know. Right? No, they're okay. We're talking about are you conscious, Evelyn? Do you think you're conscious? Oh, you do? Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, Evelyn is using monkey sign language, so I don't know if Evelyn has a mind or not, actually. So, do you have a mind, Evelyn? Or she's not really arguing with me about it. She actually is saying that she's what? Hungry. Yeah, you're hungry, and you what? You want to run through the audience? And get a good grooming. Okay. Well, anyway. Well, Evelyn's actually going to help us in the next hour. We're going to do an experiment with Evelyn, and she came out but you know what? she came out too soon, but this is a good point, just to take a moment. I know I gave you a lot with the Greeks and everything, sorry. But let's talk about animal consciousness just for a second. Is Evelyn conscious? We know that monkeys, can you just, hold on, yes. Hold on one second, okay. We know that monkeys can learn sign language and they can experience things like, and communicate things like fear and surprise, right? Let's try that. Evelyn, can you show me fear? Oh, very good, yeah. How about surprise? Yeah, good, go, oh, yeah. And you might say, well, wait a minute, now when my child was young, they communicated fear and surprise and disgust, but here's the thing. What about when your child said for the first time, where did I come from? Or where do I go after I die? Or why are the kids teasing me? What's going on in their minds when they tease me? And then try to imagine a monkey asking you that same question. Okay. So we don't know if Evelyn has a mind and knows that I have a mind and all that stuff we've been talking about. And until we learn more about her language, or she learns ours, we're not going to know. So Evelyn, will you say goodbye? And you're going to come back in the next hour, right? Okay, everybody say goodbye to Evelyn. Bye, Evelyn. Okay, just go right down. Bye. You okay? All right. Evelyn is going to wait for us. Okay, where are we here? Okay, so monkeys can communicate, and but we don't know if they have minds. So let's go to the next thing here. Where's my clicker? Oh, where's my clicker? My gosh, we're lost without our clicker. It's a PowerPoint presentation. I don't have I got to have there it is. All right. What's next? This is one of my favorite ones. Interior storytelling, okay? Interior storytelling. All right? So everybody has a story. We have a mind and a consciousness. We have our own story, and we write our own stories about our minds. So I'm going to tell you a story, okay? And this is one of my interior stories, all right? When I was 10 years old, I felt that although my family loved me and my cousins loved me, for the most part, I was a disaster in school, okay? I didn't like sports. Boys made fun of me. My grades were so-so. And I was afraid of other children for the most part. True. And I auditioned for a school play, and where I got that courage to do that, I have absolutely no idea. And I remember the kids used to make fun of me, and the role that I got in the play was the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, and I don't know if people know The Wizard of Oz. Not too many know The Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow is supposed to have no brains, and when I got that part, the kids thought that I had no brains, and so they made fun of me. But I didn't care, because I discovered the theater. And this is the way it happens. And so my internal narrative at that young 10-year-old boy was that I'm kind of not good at school, and kids make fun of me, and I'm not good at sports. And all of a sudden, my internal narrative shifted, and I was good at something, and people complimented me, and, well, here we are. I had a career in the theater, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. What about the gun story? The man sitting, we started off, remember? I haven't told you. I'll tell you at the end of the talk what happened to him. He's sitting in his car, and let me tell you, that man with the gun, about ready to hurt himself, is conscious. He has an internal story, not a very pretty one, until things shift dramatically. All right. A lot about interior storytelling. We don't have time to get too far into that, but I wanted to leave you with, that's the second one. We all have a mind. We all have an interior story, okay? Next one, need. Uh-oh. Oh, that was Evelyn's jungle, but we didn't have time to get into that. Hello, Evelyn's jungle, and we're going to be doing this in the next half hour. So, and there's Evelyn learning sign language. How's that? Yeah, cute? All right, let's move on. Needs. All right, needs. So with needs, everybody has a need. And I want to quote real briefly Alan Watts, who people in America know pretty well. He was a British citizen who became an American, and he brought Buddhism. He's credited with bringing Buddhism to America. And some of you may find that interesting. And what he says about needs, okay, or about children, is the way that we treat children. We play some awful games with children, all right? And I've heard a lot about this from Monica and from some of the other speakers about how we talk to children. And Alan Watts suggests this is the way we should talk to children. Ready? This is called the empty chair in drama therapy. I'll get in drama therapy in a minute. It's the empty chair. I'm pretending there's a nice child. Lovely. Imagine a nice, lovely child sitting here. Maybe somebody you know. Something like this. This is the way we think we should welcome children into the world. Hello, my dear. Welcome to the human race. You know what? We're playing some games here in this life, and we want to teach you the rules. And once you know all the rules, maybe you can think up some of your own. How's that? How's that for welcoming a child to the human race? But instead of being very direct with them, we tend to be more like this. Now look here. Now you're here on probation. You understand that? And maybe when you're grown up a bit, you'll be acceptable. And then you'll be seen and not heard until then. You're a mess. And you've got to be educated and schooled and whipped until you're human. Now that's the way some of us welcome a child into the world. You're not ready to be human yet. You're not ready for human consciousness yet. So these attitudes, which are inculcated into us from infancy, go sometimes into old age. Because the way you start out is liable to be the way that you finish, right? So there are people going around in this world fundamentally feeling like they don't fit in. Because their parents said to them in the first place, they said, look, you don't really belong here. You're here on sufferance. You know, sufferance? You're here on probation. You're not human yet. And people feel this right into old age. In fact, this feels pretty terrible. I should probably just go back. Let's one more time. Hello, my dear. Welcome to the human race, right? We're playing some games, right? We're just playing some games here, right? And you know what? We're going to teach you the rules, and when you're old enough to really get the rules, you can make up some new ones, all right? So let's think here. Because when you try to, look, one more thing. When you try to create a human being by making them into someone acceptable for your family and society, which is fine, we have to do that. But sometimes you miss their need. I want Emily to come back. Emily, will you come back up? Give Emily a big hand. And was there somebody else that wanted to volunteer too? I wanted to check and see. Because there was somebody waving their hand. But Emily, come up here. I feel like see, this has to do with what we were just talking about. I feel manipulated you before. You know, I was manipulating you and into learning. And instead what I'd like to do is I could have just been very straight ahead and said, could I have a green cup, right? Would you like to sit down? Let's just sit for a minute, okay? And maybe I could have, could I have you help me, Lynn? Do you mind helping me? Just stand in for me. Stand right here with me. Thank you so much. Can I have a big hand for Lynn, too? She's been helping me so much today. Yes? Thank you. I'll tell you what to do in just a moment. So, Emily, and I realize this might be a little personal, so you don't have to answer a personal question. And I'll show you how, and this is a little bit of drama therapy here. I mean, I would like to treat you the same way as I just did that child, right? Welcome you to the world, be welcoming, and find out what you need. Is there something in your life, and you just think of it first of all, that you really need that's not, a need that's not being met? Can you think of something? Yes. All right. Do you feel like sharing it? You don't have to if you don't want to. Oh, I don't have the microphone, so I'll tell them. Do you want to share it? Okay, you don't mind sharing, okay? Okay, go ahead. What? Are they going to grab the mic? I think they're going to grab the mic for you. Perfect. Yay, here comes. We're going to do that. Great. Excellent. Okay. Here it comes. Great. Thank you, Lynn. So, Emily, thank you very much. Stay right here with me. You're doing great. Okay, what is the need that you have?
When I was like 9 years old,
yes,
my father came home bringing a new dress for my younger sister. The best dress with all kinds of decorations, but not for me. How can that be? So I was crying and feeling around and mistreated.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And so I hear that story that the sister got the dress, Emily, and you didn't get the dress, and you cried. And when I asked you if you had an unmet need, you went right back to that story, didn't you? You went right back to that story, yeah? And so are you able, and by the way, Emily may not be able to identify. Can you identify what your need is? I mean, you may not know. What is it you feel you need now?
Yeah, my need at that moment was, I was the firstborn. I needed to be as the center and always come I always treat it as the first and most important.
So do you feel that at this point in your life, Emily, that's a need that you have?
Yes. To be in the center, on stage, being treated like the queen, like the
Is
princess.
that right? That's a need you have.
That's my need.
Now, in drama therapy, what we might do, because you said like a queen, right? Well, what would that look like? You have a couple of subjects here. You have Lynn and I as a subject. If you're the queen, all right, this is a need that Emily has. What can we do for you? Do you want us to go get something for you? Do you want to command us a little bit, right, Lynn? You understand? Yeah? Yeah?
Like a play.
Just for a moment.
Just for a
so they can get a
moment,
little
okay.
idea of how we might meet a need through drama
Okay.
therapy. Yeah.
Because today I'm going to attend the meeting on the party after this.
Yes.
I didn't bring my dress, so I was very disturbed because of that. So
I
I
see.
borrowed clothes from my friends, but they don't fit.
I see.
So if you were my subject,
Yes.
go to the store,
Yes.
buy me a dress.
Oh, very good. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go. We better go, Lynn. We've got to go buy a dress somewhere. Okay. What kind of dress would you like?
An evening dress.
An evening dress?
Like up here, black.
All right.
With pearls.
All right.
Yes.
With pearls and an evening dress. Okay, Lynn, I'm going to drive you. Here we go. We're going to drive over. Okay, we got to get the dress. Okay, come this way. All right. There's the dress store. Can you get the dress for her, please? All right, go ahead. How much? Yeah. Oh, very good. Yes, that's good. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, that pearls and everything. Okay, great. Thank you. Let's go back. Okay. Oh, Your Highness, Your Highness. We found the dress. Here we go. Here it is. Very good. Very good bowing and. Queen Emily,
Yes.
how do you feel?
I feel right.
Well, thank you very much for taking place. Thinking this. So how do you? Thank you very much. Take that back for you. Thank you very much. Lynn's really the one running around.
Thank you.
Before you go, though.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, one more question.
Yeah.
How do you think? We can't really make you queen in real life. It felt good, though, right?
It's good.
So there's something in that, isn't there?
Yes.
In the way that you want to be treated and get your needs met. And that this would take more time than we have right now. But I'm glad you got to be queen for a day. That was an old series back in America. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll take the microphone. Thank you. Have a big hand for meeting the needs. All right. I'll put it right here. All right. So we met the needs. Very good. Good. Thank you very much. And yes, I may need you in a moment. So good. So let's see here. Where are we? That may take more time, right, Emily? We may need more time with that one because you have this need, you have this feeling that you want to, have your needs met by feeling like a queen, and we don't know yet exactly how that would play out in your life. But we could do some more work, maybe tomorrow at the workshop. We have this big workshop tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about it more and see, because now we had the fantasy that she feels good, you feel better? All right. And then we can kind of go from there. So learning is not meeting needs. Quick fixes, we don't want a quick fix for Emily, not meeting needs, and definitely ignoring problems is not meeting needs. This takes time. It takes time, so very good. Okay, let's go. Where did I do I lost my clicker again. Shoot. Is it over here? It's always here. I forget things all the time, darling, don't even, but I find them eventually, right? All right. Let's see, where are we? Dreams. I feel like I may be running out of time, and I'm not keeping an eye. How much time do I have left? Do you know? Do you know how much? I'm not watching my clock very well. Yeah, I just want to make sure. I have a couple more exercises I want to do. Huh? I have 5 more minutes? Is that right? Oh, I only have 5 more minutes. Oh, okay. Oh, 15. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm sorry to stop, but I have this little clock here we got going, and I didn't pay any attention to it. And one of the reasons is I'm having a marvelous time here with you. Seriously, I'm just having a wonderful time here. Really, I'm losing track of time, which is a beautiful thing. Dreams. I was going to do another exercise, but I only think I only have time for one. So, Howie did it already. You talk to each other about your dreams. Did you do that exercise? Were you talking to each other about your dreams? Were you? I only see Emily and her friend. No. Did you do the talk about you? What we were going to do, and we can do this tomorrow, is I wanted to know this. You heard a dream that you could easily support. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this person wants to be an accountant and they're good with numbers and I'm all behind them, right? So we were going to bring some people up and talk about that, but then I wanted you to think about somebody in your family that has a dream you can't support very well. Like, my son wants to be a rock and roll star. Right? And then I was going to challenge you to see if you could support that dream in the same way that you can support, the other dreams. So dreams are very, very personal. I'm glad that Howie did that exercise, especially since I'm running out of time. And we want to take a look at dreams, okay? So in order to communicate more effectively with our families, we have to acknowledge that they have minds, right? Oh, he's next. That they have minds, they have their own story, and they have their own personal need, and they have a dream. That dream, wow. I said the American dream, the Chinese dream, we talked about this already, but there's that personal dream. Emily's is to be queen someday. I don't know how we can figure that out for you, Emily. Elizabeth is very old now. Queen Elizabeth is very old. Maybe she's willing, I'll step aside for you, But seriously. So, good. Let's talk about the theater now. I'm going to put this all together for you, and then I want to do one more exercise before we run out of time. Okay, good. This man is named Thespis, and in 534 BCE, legend holds, he pretended to be somebody other than himself. We've been talking about this all hour, how important this is. I'm pretending to be somebody other than myself, and he is, in essence, considered the first Western actor, I should say, because we also know, skipping over the couple of ponds over here to China, during the Sung dynasty, people, guess what? You think that, I guess there's American Idol, Chinese Idol, and all these singing, all these idols. People were buried with statues of their favorite actors during the Sung dynasty. I didn't know this, I'm just researching this. And I think this is a new discovery. And they were buried with their favorite actors. I love this little guy. I'd like to take him into eternity, Okay, right? You like him? Okay, good. So good. So Western and Eastern theater. I'm going to tell you a little about theater, a little about drama therapy. We're going to do a quick demonstration, then we're going to wrap it up because we got to go to bed and get ready for tomorrow. We've got a lot to do. And I want you to hear a few selections of plays, early plays. For instance, the Greek play by Sophocles, which is Antigone, from 441. And listen to the symbolism and the metaphor in this. I've been talking about this through the whole talk, is that symbolism and metaphor was developed with the onset of consciousness, right? Now listen to Antigone, and this is a son pleading with his father to change his mind. Listen. Father, the gods implant in mortal men reason, the choicest gift bestowed by heaven. 'Tis not for me to say thou errest, nor would I arraign thy wisdom if I could. And yet wise thoughts may come to other men. And as thy son, it falls marked to me, the acts, the words, the comments of the crowds. Now really what's happening there is the son is referring to his mind, his father's mind, and the minds of other people. All not long after the Odyssey. Now let's leap forward to Shakespeare. We all know William Shakespeare, right? Yes? Yes, the bard, William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Or how about, that's Antigone, sorry. How about Richard II? Now, Richard II was locked up in a prison, like this, terrible, like this. Locked up in a prison, and couldn't contact the outside world, and decided he would make a world where? In his mind. Listen, I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. And because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out. My brain, I'll prove female to my soul the Father. And these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts. Wow. And these same thoughts people this little world my gosh, thinking and consciousness has just run amok in the theater and all over the place. Wow. Oh, and let's not forget this one. Yes? This is a young girl, reminds me of Juliet very much, and Romeo and Juliet, talking about being like a little flower. So here's the symbolism again. I'm not a poplar blossom, or a wild osmond, or a street blossom, or a post-autumn fan. I'm just like a bluish-green willow standing in a silver vase. So you see where you hear that beautiful symbolism. Well, my theater was this theater of stages and Western theater, of course, right? Costumes. I performed in school plays, community theater, and this Western kind of theater most of us know with the curtains and the tilted seats and the orchestra. I was in a group called the Young Americans. Young Americans. And I graduated from high school early so I could tour the U.S., and the theater brought me every single state. I've toured every single state in the U.S. I performed on Broadway in such musical as Flora, Cats. Yeah, and that is actually not me. I couldn't find my picture, but this was the role I played, Gus the theater cat. But this is me. This is Les Miserables. You guys know Les Miserables. This is me as the bishop, and looking about the same age as I am now, because I had a gray wig on, and now I look the same age. Well, anyway. And all this to say that this wonderful theater that I grew up in is not the theater that we're going to be talking about this weekend. Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. But the theater did help me. As an actor, I had challenging years growing up because I was introverted and shy. Really, I know it's hard to believe, but I was introverted and shy. My mother has a WeChat account, so if you want to, I'll give it to her, you can ask her, okay? I thought that was going to be a big laugh in here. My mother has a WeChat account. I thought that was going to be my big laugh, darling. What was my big laugh? It was something else I didn't see coming. Oh, that's the theater for you. All right. Anyway, I was a real mama's boy, right? All right, big baby. The theater helped me to become more confident and helped me to become very interested in human behavior and psychology. And later in college, I had a very wonderful set of experiences in college where I played a psychiatrist analyzing a disturbed young man, and that's when I discovered psychodrama and then eventually drama therapy. And psychodrama is where you actually work on an issue, kind of like we did with Emily, a little bit working. Then we went off to fantasy. That was drama therapy, okay? But if we had decided to work, for instance, I'll give you an example. Can I use this as an example for Emily? Okay. If we had decided for Lynn and I Lynn to be the sister that got the dress, right? And you'd play yourself. That's psychodrama, okay? That's psychodrama. But what we did instead was we distanced ourselves and played a little game. That's drama therapy. So that helps you understand that. So anyway, not long after that, I became a mental health professional and pursued my acting career. And I ran into drama therapy again in my psychiatric nursing program. And then I finally met this wonderful lady, Dr. Pam Dunn, who's a pioneer of drama therapy. And I began to study drama therapy and pursued a television career, performed on Broadway, and also with the U.S. shows, a lot of shows. So drama therapy has its origins in sociodrama. And again, we'll talk later if you'd like. So psychodrama, sociodrama, drama therapy all have their origins with J.L. Moreno, who was a contemporary of Sigmund Freud. And finally, let me see if I can do another demonstration. I want to take just a little bit of time. I don't want to take too much time. But I'm wondering if... Emily, should we just keep working with you for a minute? Would that be all right? Just for time's sake? Is it all right? Emily's the star of the show today. Could you... Here's the thing. I got an idea, okay, since we've been working together. Is there somebody that could play, just for a minute, your mother and your father? And your sister, too. Just for a moment. We'll go very quickly, promise. Very quickly, yeah. We good on time? Yeah? Okay, good. Yeah. Somebody just pretend, and I'm not going to have to do no acting. They're just going to pose for a picture. Okay. Your mother or father, who would represent your father and your mother? You know May? Yeah. May, can you come up just for a moment? All right, very good. And just somebody for your father and your sister? Yeah? That's okay. No, it can be a woman. That's fine. Okay, mother, father, and maybe the sister too. Yeah? Who's that? Oh, you know? Okay, you know all these people. Can they come up too? Who's that? Can she come up? Yeah, you. Yeah, come. Just a picture. You don't have to do any acting, I promise. One thing that I like to do with drama therapy is make a safe space for people. I'm not sure I'm doing that right now in front of everybody, but I appreciate it. You don't, no acting. So all I want you to do, watch it, come on up. And we'll do more of this tomorrow. Would you just arrange, oh, we have a lot of people there. Oh, very good. You okay? That's okay. I'm just going to have you arrange them in a family portrait. Who's dad? This is mom, this is sister. And could you, and yourself, do you want somebody to play yourself, or can you play yourself for a minute? Would you just make a picture for us, like we're taking a picture, how would dad stand? Just show her how dad would stand. Mom would be here. And the sister would be here. And way off to one side? Okay. Okay, I see. Oh. No, but that's okay. Is that what you were feeling? Is that the feeling?
I listen to my heart. He's somewhere there.
But if you listen to your...
If I listen to people, what I should do will be here, somewhere near me.
But if your heart should be further away?
Not that further.
Hi. But you understand, right? You see where Emily is placing them. This is part of drama therapy. And I don't want to get, I don't want to open up so much for you, Emily, here. But we can talk, and if you want to talk to me a little bit afterwards, if we have opened up a little bit about your family, it's okay. No, we can certainly speak about it. But what would sort of feel good? So that we want closure, we want this to feel good to Emily here. What would feel good? Give me a family picture that you'd feel good about right now. Let's do it. And everybody's going to take a picture of it, right? Everybody's taking pictures. Okay. Like this? Ready? Oh, here we go. E-R. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, everybody. Good job. Thank you. Give them a big hand to keep encouraging people. Wow. That's an introduction to drama therapy. I know we've gone through a lot today. And wow. Thank you, Emily, and thank you for I was going to use different people, but for time's sake and everything, and also you have a beautiful smile, and you're so willing to share your story with us. So, Phoebe, I've left my clicker again. I keep leaving it here. It's amazing. It's great. Okay, so what have we got here? Let's go back. Quick review. Everybody has a mind. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a need. Everybody has a dream. Remember our 3 questions? What do you know about your family? Right, Emily? Everybody? What do you know? What do you not know? And that was a big one. We just worked on that. What have you forgotten about your family? Maybe you forgot about some of these stories. Those are something to keep up. Oh, you know what? I forgot something here too. I did. I have this mask here. Oh, yeah. You know what? There was a guy sitting in his car with a gun. Do you remember this story? That was a while back. It was like 3 hours ago. No, I'm just kidding. What happened to this guy? He's sitting in his Mercedes-Benz with a gun in his hand and very little hope. Seconds before he pulls the trigger, his story changes, right? Drives himself to the hospital, tells the nurses and doctors, I'm just about to kill myself. And a week later, he's telling me in the hospital, I love my life, I love my wife, I love my... What happened to this guy? Before he could pull the trigger, he received a text from his daughter with 4 words on it. What is it, Monica? I love you, Dad. Thank you very much.